Peace, blessings, salutations. Yarima Karama here. Voices from Behind the Wall segment. Wanted to give a shout out to our Ryan Gardner. Peace, brother. Wanted to give a shout out to our brothers and sisters who are currently doing time in those Desmo Cribs. But I also wanted to give a parallel comparison on what happens, the politics behind prison walls and how they parallel comparison to the politics out here. So you see, on this particular day, I'm doing my black power, black unity, black pride, black love, and of course black justice. And so yeah, that's how I'm doing it on Labor Day. I felt it was very appropriate to just, to wear this shirt, and that black love, black pride, black power, black unity, and black justice. And so if you like that shirt, I have listed below all the places of business that we can support. John Ray, I see you. Much love, brother, to you. So I've listed all the different black businesses that are putting out these type of products. That is from what I'm wearing now, comes from this brother, Wear Consciousness, and you can see the info right there. So it's that's Wear Consciousness. You go to www.wearconsciousness.com. Also, Tell I'm on E. That's www.tillime.one tellamonE.com. His clothing line is very conscious wear. Also, Ivory Carter, Compass. You'll see me wearing the hat with the C on it. You'll see me wearing some of the Compass gear sometimes. So hit his company up. That's Ivory Carter at Compass, mfgco@gmail.com. Support this brother. Twid clothing. So I'm big on the Twid. There you see I got the Compass, the Twid. These are my two clothing lines right now. Like, this is the gear, the majority of the gear that I'm wearing right now comes from these two clothing lines right here. So check these clothing lines out. That's Twid and Compass gear. Also, I got the locks out. That's because I got my black shampoo maker now, I believe. I wanted to get her up here for an interview. She hasn't gotten back with me yet. But check out her brand, and that's etsy.com/Sopiphany. So, and it shows that it's, so that's etsy.com/Sopiphany. And so she's doing the soaps, she's doing the shampoo, and it's basically vegan. The soaps and the shampoo is basically the vegan. She's using vegan products. So check out that queen. She's doing her thing. And so that's how I'm doing my day. And then I worked out this morning, got the energy drink with the vegan vitamins mixed in here. So that's how I'm doing Labor Day. And then I'm gonna go out later to the park and sport my Black Pride t-shirt, because I think it's a beautiful day to do that. Hopefully I won't get jumped by any white people who look at my shirt and you that sort of thing. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the parallels, and it's funny because I wanted to do this for the brothers and sisters who do time behind those prison walls, those Desmo Crips, the new mass incarceration, the new Jim Crow. But here's the thing, specifically in like high level institutions, there's this thing that they do, and everything is about everything. And there's a lesson in this. Because everything is about everything is about territory. And so when you go into a high-level institution, and it's funny how everything is segregated, but it's segregated based upon territory. And I guess maybe in the past it was tried and didn't work, where they might have tried to force everybody to live together and that sort of thing. Well, that didn't work. And so, oh, absolutely, Daryl, I'm definitely going to plug my music, and I'm going to get to that. But there is this this segregation that goes on. So as soon as you go into the institution, and this is why I'm so big on the school to prison pipeline, so to speak, because the resemblance is so. I mean, it's so. When you look at the school, our average high school or junior high, and then you go into a prison, there's really not too much of a difference. So you go inside this institution, and I'm going to speak specifically on Leavenworth because the hot house, it has a long history with it. But you go inside, and what happens is you see the segregation. So that you got the TV rooms, they're segregated. You got the black TV room, you got the Hispanic TV room, you got the white TV room, and then you got a news TV room that's kind of for general viewing because they don't have enough TVs. I mean, you're talking about units that comprise anywhere from 150 to 200 individuals, men. And you might have 6, 7 TVs. So we know that people, it's hard for people to find a way to get along on anything. And so also, let me cut in here and say, if this phone messes up for this live stream, understand that they're playing games with me. They've been playing games on other things. I guess they don't like how I speak. You already know what I think about that. But if the phone cuts out, that's the reason why they're playing these games. But anyway, so you go in and you automatically get this segregation. So you got the black TV room, and if you're new, you have to get brought into this. Somebody has to tell you this. And so and here's the funny thing is that when you come in, the first question is, where are you from? Like what state are you from? Because that's and once you tell them, yo, I'm from New York, okay, your people is over there. That's how they do it. It's not that. And the crazy thing is, in the parallel comparison to out here, it's not that I'm black, which that's how the system used to be back in the 70s and 80s when brothers, I guess, felt like they were forced to have to get along. So it's not that I'm black. It's that, where are you from? Oh, I'm from New York. Okay, your people are over there. I'm from Cali. Oh, okay, your people are over there. And so that's how it's divided. And so then it comes down to where you're going to room. And so the roommate situation, you're going to probably room with somebody black. There have been cases where a person has said, well, I'll room with somebody white. And then the white Aryan Brotherhood has told that white guy, you need to get him out of there. You need to kill him. You need to do something. You're not going to sell with a nigger. And so there have been cases where maybe the black guy didn't really know to the full extent what he was getting himself into, and he lost his life in the process but those are stories within themselves. But then you go into the Chow Hall. Well, in the Chow Hall, everything is broken up, and it's broken up amongst race again. But in this case, it's a little bit different because it's not so much different, but it is a little bit because, okay, now New York, they have their tables. California has their tables. The Mexicans have their tables. And the funny thing with the Mexicans and the whites is, like with the whites have, they have the AB table, the Aryan Brotherhood, the skinheads, they kind of sit together. So they're even though those two factions are a little bit different, they're both white supremacists, but they're still a little bit different, but they sit together. And so, but the Mexicans, that's a little bit different because you have the Texas Syndicate, you have the Mexican Mafia. So they have their section. They're kind of separate though, because them guys beef. So they're kind of like the blacks, so to speak. So they have their particular Mexican section, but it's different. So the Mexican Mafia, they sit with Mexican Mafia Mexicans. The Texas Syndicate, they sit with Texas Syndicate Mexicans. And then you have the general population where people who don't necessarily want to be affiliated or that sort of thing, or might be maybe a little bit nerdy, don't want the drama. So they have their particular section. And so then here comes the politics, because now within those sections, those groups have their leaders. Good morning, Louise. Good morning, Queen. Yeah, glad you joined us. So within those particular sections, those groups have their leaders. And so now how those leaders are picked, within black leadership, how those leaders are picked is going to be based upon affiliation, who you know, and who we know you know. It's going to be based upon your strength, what you have done in the system, like what kind of work have you put in, like particularly when I talk about work, like what beefs have you gotten into, have you stood up for our particular geographic location, have okay, you didn't put in work on stabbing. So are you really a leader? Are you a thinker, or are you a warrior? Because there is a place for you. If you're a warrior, if you're that guy that's going to go out and put in work, then absolutely you're sitting at our table, and you're from our particular geographic region location. But usually the leader is picked upon their level of rationale, and usually the leader is picked upon a consensus by the elders. Like, okay, the elders, we're willing to sit back and lend our ear. We're willing to lend our support, give advice, but we've paid our dues. So now it's kind of like it's on you all to run this, because there's checks and balances. And the reason I'm talking about this is because basically when we talk about those tables in a prison chow hall and how they're segregated, that's basically, you might as well make that synonymous with land, with territory. And so the thing is that particular geographic location, they protect their tables. So like if I'm in Leavenworth, we have the New York table. Guess what? That table, there could be people standing, eating. There could be literally people standing. The chow hall is packed. There could be people standing to eat. They're not going to sit at that table without permission. It's a respect thing, so to speak. So they're not going to come. They're not going to come because, again, those tables are like land. So they're not going to come into your land and disrespect you unless you give permission. Same thing like the New York table sat up front. Those tables have been in place for years. For years, for decades, those tables have been in place. And so what happens when new people come in, they get trained in on the fact that, this is our section. This is where we eat. Violators, they get removed. Don't nobody violate, because it's a respect thing. And if somebody does that, then it's almost like an automatic, like they're telling you I'm really like trying to go there with you because I'm just totally disrespecting. I'm going to sit at your table, and guess what? You're not going to do anything about it. That's kind of how it's taken. And so then you have to answer that. Now that's rarely happens. The only time that might happen is in a situation where you start your geographic location starts to lose numbers. People start leaving the institution and maybe going to other places, and you might be low on numbers. Well, then what happens when you get low on numbers is just like any other predatory environment. People want to try you. They want to come in and think that they can take your particular spot. And so this is where leadership comes in, because leadership has to be strong. Because the person who's left behind to actually make sure that our tables are kept intact, and as small as this might seem, as petty as this might seem, when we talk about land, that's what I'm making the parallel here with. And so through all the madness, when we talk about prison, through all the madness, if these rules aren't in place, what you have is a basic level of anarchy. And so then you have people just running around doing whatever. There's no checks and balances. And then you just got a bunch of stabbing deaths and all of that. So these are the checks and balances. So like if somebody disrespects or sits in your particular area, well, here's where the politics come in, because now the politics say, okay, you sat over here in my particular area. This is what I'm going to do. The particular guy that runs your particular car, your particular president of your particular geographic location, me and that guy are going to talk. And then we're going to talk because it's his job to get you in line, because you have now disrespected the whole New York car. You have disrespected the whole California car. And there's that division, because it really should be, in essence, it should be the black car. But because we've been so divided as a people, as a group, it comes down to those geographic locations like, yo, where are you from? But there is a method to the madness, because again, those tables are land. So now the negotiations go on, just like kind of like the negotiations go on out here with lobbyists and politicians and that sort of thing. We want something from them. Whether they're willing to give it to us or not is going to depend. And then if they're not willing to give it to us, well, there's going to be repercussions for that. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like on that same level. And so you go into this madness, this chaotic madness called prison. And sometimes you get put in a position of leadership because of what you've done. Sometimes you get put in a position of leadership because of who you are, the recognition that you get throughout the system for the work that you have done for the people or for your particular geographical location. But you also get picked mainly for your strength. Like when the numbers get low, are you gonna bow out and run, or are you gonna stand on principle of, I know that there are people coming after me. See, I know that there are people that are going to be on the way. And if we don't have a place to sit, if we don't have a table to sit at, if we don't have our particular land mass, then we're going to be like these other people who, when the chow hall gets full, we're standing up. We're going to be standing up eating. And then what happens is, if the strong person who was perceived to be strong can't hold that down, and now you get other brothers who know the history, and they come in and they say, wait a minute, you didn't hold us down? We know what Leavenworth is about. As a matter of fact, we might have even been here before. You didn't hold the tables down too? Now, there's repercussions for you. They didn't hold the African land down. They let invaders come in. Well, the repercussions for that is now the invaders have come in and have raped, robbed, and pillaged all the resources of the land. That's the repercussions. And so now, to get that land back, you have to fight even harder, and you have to go through a whole bunch of negotiation, maybe even violence, to get your land back. Because you let an invader come in and take your land, rape, rob, and pillage the resources. Now the invaders are sitting at the table as you're walking by, a table that used to be yours. They took it from you, and now you're standing up eating. That's like that, and so that's how I make the comparison, because basically and here's the thing, is that the politics, and the reason I can speak on that is because I was one of those no nonsense guys who, I could be the only one eating at that table, and I was kind. If a brother needed a place to, like Cali, if they sat behind us, and we was cool with Cali, there was no beef. We was cool with Cali. So if a guy from Cali was sitting behind and didn't have a place to sit, yo, homie, you can sit right here. Couldn't no A be a white skinhead. They got nothing. As a matter of fact, they knew it. They wouldn't even attempt to come over and sit. They wouldn't even do that unless they was going to make a move to try to take over the land, the table. Or tables. In this case, actually, it wasn't just one table. It was a conglomerate of tables. We're talking about 8-10 tables. And so, but this was the land. And so it's the same thing out here. Like a lot of times we go through what we go through because we don't have any land. We're standing eating, basically begging for a seat, basically begging to get our table back. Basically begging to get our land back. And the people who have taken the land, they're like, no, you can't. We took it. We took this. We took it. Get it like Tyson, basically. And so it's the same thing, and the same thing with the TV rooms in prison. A black TV room. No move will be made on that room unless they're coming with intentions of, we gonna check. We gonna try to take this. And so everything is a defending of the territory. And what's crazy is that what I find even more like when they talk about race wars in prison, one thing that they don't break down to you is the dynamics. Like I know, and I'm sure some of you know, like there is a difference. And from a conscious standpoint, there is no real difference. But between the groups themselves, there is a difference between Latinos. Like if there's a race war between the blacks and the whites, the Mexicans they roll with the whites. It's been like that at every institution I was at. The Puerto Ricans, however, they push with the blacks. The Black Cubans push with the blacks. The Native Americans tend to push with the whites. This is real. So when you have those kind of like race issues, even within the Latino community, there is a breakdown. Like there is a clear difference between Puerto Rican Latinos and Mexican Latinos. They vibe different. Like there is a real even from a musical standpoint, all the way to to other other things that go on within their group. Now you would think so when we don't put all Latinos in the same boat, because we know that they vibe a little bit different. And you really see especially the racist part of it. You really see it under those prison conditions. Like they actually we were preparing for a race war at one time. And to see the Mexicans team up, but more surprising was the Native Americans teaming up with the whites, and it was like, okay, and then you had the Puerto Ricans who they didn't even think about it. They was automatically like, we black. And even there, when there's peace, there might be beef between the blacks and the Puerto Ricans. It's the craziness. But then when a race war breaks out, then everybody, the Puerto Ricans team up with the blacks, the Black Cubans team up with the blacks, the Colombians, depending on melanin and pigmentation, they could go white or black. It's and so just the dynamics. The Black Dominicans, they team up with the blacks. The white Dominicans, sometimes they just keep a neutral position. And so this is and so the same thing plays out. The same thing kind of plays out here, and it's not my position to cause division, but it is my position to say what the hell is true and what goes on behind prison walls, because I was there and I saw it clearly. And so, sometimes you come into those environments and you because of the work that you've done, because of who you are, you get put in those positions like, yo, they're looking for leadership. They're looking for leadership. And when you got young guys coming in who don't really know the system, they're looking. And then you got those young warriors coming in and they're ready to push knives at all you got to do is pop it off and they're ready to go. And so you have to be strong enough to be able to talk sense to these young people. You have to be able to keep them controlled and have the respect of everybody outside of your group so that they don't disrespect. And that's key, is do they respect you enough to where I'm not going to disrespect, because I know that dude is strong and his team goes hard and they will go hard for him, even if they got small numbers. They're not playing. And so when we look at Africa and the taking of the land, when we look at the U.S. and the taking of the land, these are the demographics that I can clearly see the parallel picture between that and prison. And if you're weak, well, you get it taken. And so a few of the people that are not allowed in the whether they're from your state or not, the few of the people that are not allowed, rats, no rats. If you're a rat, you get nothing. As a matter of fact, if you're a rat and they find out, you're probably not even going to live out there in general population. So pedophiles, you get no love. If you're a pedophile, you're not going to live in general population. If you're a rapist, you're not going to live in general population. And so a lot of people will say, well, how can isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, so to speak? I mean, you're all criminals. So why would well, even within the criminal code, there is a code of conduct, a code of morals. Like, especially when you consider that most of the people in there are in there for getting money, trying to get money. They're basically in there for money crimes, even though they weren't white collar crimes, which if they were white collar crimes, they wouldn't be in there in the first place. So most of the people are in there trying to get money. But they had the same ideology on the street, even when they was trying to get money. Like, we don't mess with rapists and pedophiles and child molesters and that sort of thing. So are they able to justify? Well, you could say it that. I mean, if you want to break it down like that, okay, cool. But there is a moral code even amongst the prison code. And the fact that a lot of people we know just got railroaded into the system. So we see that every day. So I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just talking what's real. So those people aren't allowed to sit at the table. As a matter of fact, if other groups find out that those people are amongst you, they're going to come to you. Or they're going to look at that as a weakness. You got rats sitting with you? You got pedophiles sitting at you? You got rapists sitting at your table? What? He's got, look at this dude's case. He raped 3 women. What do you, and wait, this dude, wait, he was a pedophile. He molested 5 kids. What do you do? Yeah, so it leaves a bad name on the land, on the group, on the land. And so then that opens the door for people to come in. One thing too about, I wanted to mention this about the Mexicans that I find very interesting is one of the first things that the Mexicans do is they check unity. And so if you've ever been in that environment, one of the first things they do, they will do something, usually small, started off small because it's a checks and balances type thing. So they will do something to check unity, specifically amongst the blacks. And if they see any disunification, they come in to take shit over, just how it is. And so it's kind of the same thing in the land. It's kind of the same thing on the continent. Like any type of disunity, we see disunity, we come in to take it. We come in to take it. That's it. And so, and the other thing about the leadership is real leadership. We don't talk to the police. And, a lot of times in those environments, you see that, like the police, the COs, the guards, they want to, the lieutenants, they want to get the 411 and they will know who the leaders of certain organizations or certain regional areas are, and they will try to pull them in. Hey, we know we want to keep the peace with you guys and just want to know, anything going on, just give us the word. Funny thing, they knew from the start. They knew from the start, like reading, like I just see somebody put resume up there. They knew from the start when I came in the door, like reading my file, like, oh, he's not talking to us. And so that was never even a thought in their mind. They never even, and we couldn't negotiate nothing. I'm for my people. I'm holding down my land because I know what these ABs and these skinheads are trying to do. So I'm holding down my land. And whether I got large numbers or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to stand on this. No, if you're not sitting at our table, you're not coming up in our black TV room, none of that. And so, but we could live and we could commingle. And contrary to a lot of belief, there was not a whole lot of drama every day like they show on these segments of Lockup and all of that. There's, for the most part, you get drama every now and then. Something happens. Negotiations take place between the different groups, between the different leaders, and if they can't come to some form of resolve, well, then there's a war, and the war is usually quick. War is usually between 1 or 2 people, and then we keep it moving. It moves on. Everything continues to run smooth because these are checks and balances. We live in a segregated society out here, same way. Really, I mean, when you really think about it, when you really when you really look at our communities, they're still segregated. Now, do we want ABs and white supremacists coming up into our communities? No, because we know that they're not going to do anything except wreak havoc and try to take over and try to either run us out or kill us off or taint our children. So it's the same thing. The same parallel thing. So with that said, my name is Yarima. Again, I'm going out to enjoy this day. Love this shirt. Black power, black unity, black pride, black love, black justice. And so I'm going out to enjoy this Labor Day, which I think this shirt is so So very appropriate for this day, and just wanted to share that. Somebody actually reached out to me and wanted me to talk on this subject, and I was just like, you know what, I'll do that. Just for the brothers and sisters behind the walls, but also to give a breakdown of what people actually go through on a daily behind these prison walls. And I'm talking about specifically the federal system. It might be different in the state. I was never in the state, so I don't know how that system. I'm sure they probably run somewhat the same. And one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to put any one group all in the same category, because we know that there are good people within each group. I can only speak on what I see, and a lot of times what I've seen in prison is that there's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of peer pressure for people to do things, which is why leadership is always so very important. Because you do have people who sit at those tables. They're not going to do you got people who's part of the land, and they're just there to do their time, man, and go home. They just want to do their time and go home. They're not going to bust a grape. They don't want the drama. They just want to do their time. But I'm from this specific regional location. I'm not a rat. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a rapist, none of that. I just want to do my time and go home. And yeah, those brothers, they were able to sit at the table because we recognize, because we moving from, you have to do what you have to do in times of war. Is the thing. You have to do what you have to do. And in those prison environments, it's all about territory. And so with that said, my name is Yarima Karama. So Kendra says, do an interview with my husband. I would love that, Kendra. We can make that happen. Just inbox me. Yes, Dorothy Queen, I am rocking this awesome shirt. And that brother's name is Garfield Babb. Again, that's conscious. Wear Consciousness. You can go to his page, which is www.wearconsciousness.com. That brother's got I sport quite a bit of his stuff. Let's see, Willie J. Hyde, let's see your PSI. Without a doubt, I've never been afraid to show mine, brother. As a matter of fact, my case is public. If you just look for it, real talk. And one, I never hide and duck. I did almost 19. I did over 19 joints. So no rat, no snitch here. Believe that. Patsy, yeah, peace, Queen. That's not a problem. That's my job. That's what we're supposed to do. John Hill, yes, absolutely. Mashawn Queen, I don't know who her husband is. Hopefully she will inbox me and let me know. But with that said, I don't want to hold you too long. My name is Yarima Karama. This is Voices from Behind the Wall. Also, make sure if you're in the ATL area, you can hit us up. We will be at the All Black National Convention. That's September 15th through the 17th. I'll be speaking on the panel on the 17th, that Saturday afternoon. So if you're in the area, please come out. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com for more information, for ticket pricing and all of that. It's going to be held at the Shrine of the Madonna. Also, if you haven't copped it yet, get my new album, my new CD, Up From the Trenches, Out of the Tombs. It's the responses have been phenomenal. It's on all major digital download sites right now. It's on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Play, and a host of others. So if you haven't gotten that, it's 19 tracks. For those 19 tracks, it's pretty cheap on those sites. So if you haven't gotten that, like I said, it's hip hop the way it should be done. The responses have been phenomenal. I have posted some of the responses on my timeline. So check that out. One lady was like, one person was like, yo, I had it on repeat all day. Couldn't figure out which was my favorite song. Another person was like, yo, my favorite song is Zero and Steady Dropping. Another person was like, no, my favorite song is Let's Make a Toast. Another person was like, yo, the whole album is dope. I haven't heard anything like this in my lifetime. And so I'm not trying to beat myself up. I'm just saying go get the album because I put my foot into it, and so did the producer Escobedo. So check that out. Would love the support and also would love the feedback. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, my name is Yarima Karama. Peace, blessings, salutations. One, I'm out. Until next time.